Nasa Pandalama Sola Jaso Toba Tadua Chingel of the Tujishi Chingel of the Sir, Desatona Damba Chingel of the Sir, Chacha Chamber Chujong City and Latava Chingel of those Tosso Sanjata Jelo Chingel of the Sir, Chalandolo Chingel of the Sir, Landabasa Chingel of Tubaisha Java Chingel of the Sir, Nichi the Pandalama Sola Jaso Chujasan Hadalama Sola Jaso, Nasa Pandalama Sola Jaso, Toba Tadua Chingel of the Sir, Tujishi Chingel of the Sir, Desatona Damba Chingel of Chaji Chembe Chujong Retsidi and Latova Chilatos, Sanjay Kundazo Lamala, Kusungo Chembe Chazalon, the Miller Rawashibatan, Satan Robanyambra Chingelo. Good morning. So we are going to continue on the Precious Garland of Sublime Path by Gampopa. And this is a part of the stage of the path that teaching on the stage of the path. Basically, stage of the path is a necessary to follow, because without the stage of the path, sometimes teaching is putting on the practice is really difficult. So like knowing teaching, knowing Dharma, and also putting on the practice what we know is two things a little bit different. So when we know in Dharma, we have to know all the meaning of the Dharma. But when we put it on the practice, we have to learn how to put all those practice, different subjects, say, on the practice in one occasion, without the contradictory. Because sometimes people have this kind of a misunderstand about maybe certain things cannot do in the Vajrayana, but can do in the Hinayana or Mahayana. And certain things can do in the Hinayana and the Mahayana, but not allowed to do in the Vajrayana. So So I think those kind of a little bit mistakes. So in the Dharma term, like in the after the Adisha comes, especially after the Adisha come in Tibet, then they created this system. It's called the Lamrim stage of the path. So in that stage of the path, as a everything's within this stage of the path. So that way, when we're talking about the Dharma is like this. In one subject, everything's in there. All the other subjects have to be inclusive in this particular subject. Like even we chanting one mantra, in that one mantra have to have the preliminary, have to have actual practice, have to have conclusion. But when we talk about the preliminary, actual practice, and the conclusion, that all the come, everything's in the Dharma, whatsoever Buddha taught is come there. And also, when it comes to the Theravada teaching, Mahayana teaching, and Vajrayana teachings, they are skilled to how to explain is a little bit different. So one simple example is in the Hinayana teachings, they use as a wisdom teaching is a use as a no self. In the Mahayana teachings, they use as a emptiness. But in the Vajrayana, they use as a inner nature or Mahamudra. So those namely sounds different, but meaning is all same. So there's this reason is the Dharma. When it comes to the Dharma, have to be inclusive, everything there. So this reason, that is what is mean the stage of the path. Is mean that we have to have all those complete
all the Buddha's teaching, because Buddha's teaching is a one way you can say, each sutra, you will find all the other part of the teachings. Like we divide it into the Buddha's teaching is 3 baskets. Yeah, Vinaya basket, Abhidhamma basket, Sudra baskets. But in the Vinaya, you will find the meaning of the Abhidhamma. In the Vinaya, you will find the meaning of the Sudra within the Vinaya. So same things with the Sudra and the Abhidhamma too. So that reason, but what is more emphasized? Which one is more emphasizing? That one is then named as a Sudra, Vinaya, or Abhidhamma. So otherwise, it's not like those 3 subjects like totally different one. There's nothing going to find a completely different one. That is what this mean the stage of the path mean. So last week we talked about the 10 things to be stray away, 10 way to go astray. It means that this is kind of like a violate or kind of like a escape from the 2 meanings. So that is what we discussed. Now today we're going to talk about the 10 things that is an easily mistake. This, I think this one is no one can judge. There's one thing I can say, this 10 things easily mistake is no one can judge except yourself. I think really difficult to anyone can tell you this one is a mistaken or not mistaken, but ourselves is not really difficult to understand. When we're faking something, we are faking. When we actually realize those 2 are pretty much come different. So also sometimes, maybe sometimes with a certain point, we may not know. We may think this is actually one, but this is not real one. So it couldn't be possible. So that way, but definitely, it is really difficult to judge by from outside. This is I think mostly is this one is only we have to judge our own, because the Buddha said we have to be our own witness, so nobody else can be your own witness. Like we also this way, we divide the teacher as a 3. Okay, first said teacher as a human being, someone someone beside you, someone guide you, that is teacher. Second teacher is your book text. So once you get the information from the teacher, explanation from the teacher, then you have to, analyzing on that through going through the lots of different books. That's why the second teacher is the text. But finally, third teacher or final teacher is your own mind. So this one is, I think we have to be using our own mind as a witness to not go to the mistaking. So first example, like for example, first one said, it is possible to mistake in desire to the devotion. Here, devotion or faith, we have 3 kinds of faith, yeah? Vivid faith, eager faith, trusting faith. This one is talking about the eager faith. Eager faith means you really want to become a Buddha, that is your eager faith. But if you really attach to the Buddha's look, okay, form, or you really attach to his sound, then it's more like desire. It's not really devotion, because you don't know the Buddha's quality. Quality of the Buddha is the Buddha's wisdom, Buddha as a dharmakaya. So I think I mentioned this many times. If you have a guru devotion, for example, if you like a guru as a human being and you're like that one is you think as a devotion, that is not devotion. That is the attachment to attach to that person. But if you know the guru's quality, guru's wisdom, and you can see as a guru as a enlightened beings, some enlightened being, or best way is you see as a guru, as a dharmakaya, then you have a devotion. So those 2 are really difficult to say, difficult to distinguishing what is the desire and what is the devotion. But I think if you focus more that person more that body, then it is become a more as a desire. If you focus on that person's quality, that person's knowledge, and you wishing to become like that person, and that is become a more like devotion. So this is a gap, is a really small. So also, I think we can say this way, like Buddha's image, statue. If you really think this is a really holy statue, because it's made by some kind of expensive material, so you think that's a really good statue, then you mostly that's a desire, because you cannot see same way that inexpensive material Buddha statue, which is made from the inexpensive material. But if you can see both are see as a Buddha, and both have the same way to devotion, that the statue one is made from the inexpensive material and one is made from the really expensive material, then that is a devotion. But if you like one is made by expensive devotion, but you don't like the statue which is not expensive, which is not made by the expensive material, then that is a desire. So I think this is a really difficult to because that gap is a really small, that between that desire and devotion. That way, easy to can make mistake. Okay, so I think this is also similar. For example, is if you like, you have a devotion guru, someone or monk or practitioner, because that is belong to your community, or that is belong to your society, whatever, center, monastery or something. Based on that, you like, then this is more like a desire. But if you like the guru who's ethic, who's knowledge, who's wisdom, and based on that, then you have a devotion that is called the faith or devotion. So I think these two, one is because it's his appearance, and or because it's where he belong or she, and that way you like, that is become a more like desire. Why? Because it's, I think also there is a like a personal involvement too strongly. And but if you admire someone's knowledge, wisdom, ethic, some kind of a superior quality, and you eager to become like that, then it's a devotion. I think this is like a this true. Also, it's really kind of similar, but it's a huge difference. Okay. Now, second one, it is possible to make passion for the loving kindness and compassion. Make mistake. I'm sorry. It's possible to mistake passion for loving kindness and compassion. Passion is here talking about the attachment. Okay, attach. So this is like a, for example, okay, one lama, high lama or anyone. If that lama have a care for his own student, his own subject, or whoever around him have so much love, but not to other, or his own center, his own monastery, then don't care for other center, other sentient being, other monastery, then that is a desire or attachment. But that lama care for anyone who comes around him. It doesn't matter, it's a poor, rich, practitioner, non-practitioner, and everyone have an equally feeling on that toward those beings. That is called the loving kindness and compassion. So those two are really difficult because I mean, it's not saying it's when you love to your retinue, when you love to your family member, it's not really love, but it's involved to the attachment, because we put the self-center. I have to care them, I have to love them because they belong to me, or they are part of my life, or they are part of my society. Then it's self-centered. That way there's attachment is involved. Okay. But when you care someone, doesn't matter who they are, doesn't matter they support you or not, doesn't matter they are your student or not, but equally you want to care about them. It doesn't matter they follow on you or not, just you want to help them whatever you can. That is loving kindness, compassion. Like look at the Buddha's life story. Devadatta, he from the sense birth to until his death, he only wished to be destroy the Siddhartha's life. He did everything compatible to the Buddha, from Siddhartha to Buddha until his death of the Devadatta, his death. But still, Buddha never gave up care about him. Buddha always tried to love to him, try to care. Even when he died, actually he died of, Buddha's lap. So at that time, Buddha not let him die. Even he died injured that is caused to try to hurt to the Buddha. So that kind of loving kindness is a truly love, because it's come sincerely care. So that reason in the Lamrim said, when we talk about the four immeasurable, love, compassion, joy, equanimity, when counting, love have to come first, okay? Because if you don't love, you will not have a compassion. If you don't have a love and compassion, you will not have a joy. Then you're not going to find the why you have to be equanimity. So, but when you put it on the practice, you have to put on the practice on equanimity as a first. So I think this way, when you're starting, you're learning, you have to learn first is about the loving kindness. Second is you have to learn about the compassion. Third is that you have to learn about the joy. Fourth is you have to learn on the equanimity. But when you're practicing, equanimity have to go to first. Because if you don't have equanimity, then your love is becoming desire or attachment. If you have equanimity, then your love is becoming care, or also I think we can say this way. If you put the self-center, because of what you like, that way, then it's become attachment. The love is becoming attachment. If you really care for other as a more important, you put other as a more important, then that love is come from the care, not the attachment. So like, for example, I think this Holiness Drukpa always said, when you love to someone with care, you will not eat them. But you love to some things or someone because you selfish or self-centered, you will eat them. So that way, one person go to the restaurant, said, I love chicken, and eat the chicken. And one person go to the rescue animals and said, I love animals, and they rescue them, protect them, and feed them, and take care of them. So those two are both, word is used in love, same, I love. But both totally different result outcome, because one is the involvement of the attachment. That way, that is a outcome is a misery or negative from that love, and one is a come from the compassion or care, or so that way that love is a positive result. So that reason this passion, or I think maybe you can use the attachment, and loving kindness is a compassion, is a really looks similar, but I think those two kind of have to be learned how to separate. So that way they are saying is these two are really similar, so can easily make mistake. Okay, so overall, I think this is a like lots of Bodhisattva, beginner practitioner Bodhisattva, they stay away from the society and isolated themselves from the society or community. Reason is because I think it's really difficult to distinguishing attachment to love or like care or loving kindness, compassion. But Bodhisattva who have a realization of emptiness, see the true nature of suchness, who have a realization of the suchness, for them and not going to make mistake like that. So that reason they so that way the practitioner for the beginner is sometimes protecting self is more important than try to involve to the directly try to help other sentient beings. Why? Because when come to this kind of emotion, attachment, or loving kindness is really difficult to distinguishing from our, but attachment is actually negative emotion, and loving kindness is a positive emotion. But since those two have a small gap, and sometimes we may make mistake those two. So that reason is have to know what is the love, and what love come from the care, and what does the love come from the desire or attachment. Okay, then third one is said it's possible to mistake mind-meant emptiness for the natural emptiness of all things. So mind-meant emptiness means that what we conceptually, oh, this is empty, like we recite the Om Shuneta Janabeta Subha or the Atma Koham, and all phenomena are empty. We just say that one. That's called the mind-meant emptiness. But the empty nature or suchness is beyond the mind's concept. So that way Shantideva said, emptiness or ultimate nature is beyond the mind's concept, because a mind's concept is relative, or so this reason, mind, can say mind, mind making this kind of a concept about all the phenomena are empty with the thought about concepts, then it's really difficult to think that is a truly emptiness. It's just a mentally created. So I think these two are really similar when we said all phenomena are empty by nature, But if you understood this logically, through the instruction, you understood with the logically, with the reasonably, with the practically, and you experience with that. That is actually what called the nature, realization of the empty nature. But you, without the understanding, you just try to follow a few words and said, oh, all phenomena are empty. Then that is called the mind-meant empty. So I think this is really difficult. Especially emptiness is actually beyond the mind. So that reason, whatever mind concept, our mind, ordinary mind, I think can say ordinary mind or sentient being's mind, whatever we concept is cannot be emptiness or cannot be nature, because if that mind can understand, ordinary mind can understand the true nature, then we don't need to realize the nature. You already know the nature. So there's no necessity to practice to realization. So it means that no need to meditate. We already know. We don't know, that way we have to meditate to realize something that we don't know. So that way, when you look this way, on the five path said, first one is said path of the accumulation, second one is said path of the application, and third one is said path of the seeing. Why we use that name path of the seeing? Because of something saw first time, which is never seen before. So at the path of the seeing have a directly realization of emptiness. That is, or seeing the true nature of mind itself. So that we call the path of the seeing, which is we never seen before. So that way, whatever before we put on the about the emptiness is a mind-made emptiness, not the true nature. Those two are different. Of course, I mean, the first we need mind-made emptiness. We have to understand with the conceptually. I'm not saying it's totally wrong, but sometimes I think this is a problem. Is sometimes when we think we understood a little bit about the emptiness, and some people have a misconception of now they know about the emptiness. So we learning from the emptiness, which is from the text or from the Lama's instruction, is not same as you will experience or you will realize later through your practice. So that reason, as earlier I mentioned, finally your own mind is your guru. So also we divided the wisdom as a three. Wisdom from the hearing, wisdom from the contemplate. That is both are mind-made emptiness. But wisdom from the meditation, that is the actually seeing the true nature. So that way, I think this is why Gampopa is saying is when you have wisdom, emptiness from the hearing and contemplate, don't stuck there. Don't be arrogant to, oh, you have this kind of achievement. Knowing and realizing is different. So knowing whatever you learn from the book or from the guru is pretty much, I think, almost like mind-made emptiness. That truly realization is come later through your practice. I think those two different. So that way, where I hear mentioning is sometimes because we misunderstand that what we learn is then really realize. Then we said, oh, now I have done the retreat. Then they keep busy to traveling here, there, and giving teachings, mistakenly think already accomplished the Mahamudra Siddhi, but not yet there. So then that caused to actually problem. So that reason, I think this one is even you have the mind-made emptiness, but still have to put more effort until have a truly realization. Then now fourth one said, it's possible to mistaking the nihilistic view for the Dharma Dhatu, or Dharma Dhatu means the inner nature of a phenomena. I think it's called inner nature of phenomena. It's same, yeah? It's Tao. I think so. So this one is what is the inner nature of phenomena? As there's in the Mahamudra, it's called succinctly. It's a drop of a Mahamudra. It said, like a mix water with the water, like a mix of butter to the butter. So when you see your own awareness, yeah, you only see the our own awareness wisdom, promoted wisdom of awareness. That is what is a chak mean in the Maha Mudra mean. So that is a realization of the Dharma Dhatu. When you like realize that actually, but if you without the realization of that suchness or inner nature, and mentally, conceptually, and said there's no phenomena, because some people. I had met some people, and they when some point come, oh, there's no samsara and nirvana. What is the point of thinking about these things? They use excuses as an emptiness as a try to escape away from their own mistake. So things like that. Some maybe just with knowingly using excuses, but sometimes without the knowing, they think that is the true nature. There is nothing like some people take literally of the Heart Sutra's word, no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch. that kind of word. They said, oh, in the nature there's nothing. So that reason, like Thich Nhat Hanh said, one of the Zen masters said, when in the emptiness talking about empty have to be something, empty of something. Yeah, they always be empty of something. Like for example, when cup is full of the tea, it's empty of space. There's no more space. But when you drink the tea, then that cup is empty of tea. So empty of something. If there is not, then this is not become a nihilism. If there is not empty of something, then it's become a nihilism. So phenomena are there is not a nothing. Phenomena are there, but they are not inherently exist. So those are two different. So that way in the Heart Sutra said, 5 aggregate are empty of inherent existence. No, it didn't say 5 aggregate are empty. It didn't say empty of inherent existence. So that reason for the who want to understand the emptiness, that person have to understand the interdependent, interconnected. When you understand the interdependent, you will understand the emptiness. So that reason. Otherwise, if we think as a nothing as a empty, then it is actually worse than grasping on the phenomena. So Sarah has said, grasping on the phenomena is stupid like a cattle, but grasping on the nothing is more stupid than that. And also from, I think Doha, there's a Vajra song from the one of the Mahasiddha said, who believe on the existence of the phenomena is go to higher realm. Who believe nothing exists is talking about the nihilism, is go to the lower realm. Because as they look this way, if you believe existence, you believe, unless you believe the karma. So that way you avoid all the bad things and you try to do good things, okay? But if you don't believe anything and you think there's nothing, no past life, no karma, no next life, and those all is said, and you become a nihilism and you only do the bad things, then it's easier to go to lower realm. So this reason, but those two are really similar, emptiness and nihilism. Mahamudra and nihilism is really similar. If you don't understand, it's easy to can go to nihilism. So that reason we have to, at this point, actually, you must need your guru. At that point, precisely have to be guru, have to guide you to make sure you not go to that kind of mistake. So these things, like this kind of a small way to mistaking, is only through the gurus, qualified gurus instruction to can protect you to not go to that stage. So this reason have to be know those two. Patamba. I think Patamba is the same as a Bodhidharma. Some say same, some say not, because their laws are similar. But he said one of the Tibetan region called the Dingri, he taught those people, and he said, seeing the true nature of phenomena or seeing the inner nature is like a mute saw the dream, because one mute saw a dream but cannot express something there, but cannot express. So there's no word and explanation, because the mute cannot explain what he saw, she saw. So same thing as seeing the inner nature is like that. So then it's unmistaking realization of the inner nature. But if we think, oh, there's a nothing, then it's become a nihilism. So that way, these two are really similar, but it's a different outcome by mistaking or non-mistaking. Okay, now this is it. Now number 5. Yeah, it is possible to mistaking an experience for realization. So experience and realization is really similar. Those two are, but one different is experience is a really stable. I mean, realization is really stable, and experience is unstable. There's in the Lama Xiang, one of the Pamutrapa's disciple, and when he was meditating, some point all those experience, whatever he had, similar like realization was gone. So then he asked to Gampopa, what happened? Is my realization is what called loss, or what happened, or decrease? And the Gampopa said, oh, those are just experience. Don't worry about that. It comes, goes. It's just like a monkey on the tree. Some comes, some goes. It's not. Don't worry about that. Just continue to keep continue. So that way, it's those two are really similar. Also, there's one story. I think a lot of them, and also Yawan Duba. This is the 12th. First one, the Yawan Duba first one is called the Drogon Sambajare. And his root guru is called Lingchin Repa, who is the disciple of Pamutrapa. So when he was meditating with his guru in there, and certain point, he had a realization of a luminosity of emptiness, like a space. So he thought, I think Lama even have only this much, maybe he cannot have more than this. So he feels so great about what he experienced. So then he went to see his guru, and Lingre said to the Pamutrapa, Sambajare, said, son, this is just experience. Actually, realization will come after the 5 years. So you just keep continuing. So this one, what is it saying is sometime when you're meditating, when you're in the retreat, you will have this kind of experience. Then you gain the pride, being arrogant, as lack of devotion to the guru, or you don't have a guru to ask this kind of critical time, then it's gain your own arrogance, and it's going to cause you to later have nothing, because as Lama Xiang Gampopa said, it's experience is like monkey on the tree. Monkey never stay on the tree forever, only come time. Sometimes they stay a little while, sleep, but after that go away. So similar like that, we cannot expect them stay there. So these three, okay, basically wisdom we divide: understand, experience, and realization. So understand is like cloud, comes, go easily. Yeah. So understand is like cloud. Experience is like patch. When you have a cloth, have a hole, you put the patch. Temporarily it stay there, but some point it is separate, because those are not become one, separate. But realization is like a mountain, really stable. So that reason, when you have a sudden experience, and that time, critical time, you need a really spiritual guidance. So don't be too attached on that experience until you have a really truly realization. So I think so. The reason this is even Milarepa said to Gampopa, you will have a more clear, more deeper than what you just understood right now, to some realization. At that time, you will see me as a truly Vajradhara. That time is the realization. You realize the true nature. It's not just experience. So I think this is like between the experience and realization is an experience, is a kind of like what called a skin of the tree. A realization is the actually tree. When you see the skin of the tree or cover, it's not you see the actually one. Yeah. So I think those two a little bit different. Okay. Now, next 6. It's possible to mistake the hypocrite for the noble person. So this is talking about the hypocrite, mean that someone is potenting, artificially, artificially potenting some things. Then, noble person is talking about someone truly disciplined. So this is Dharma practitioner when they're acting around the other and something, and they act in something else when they are alone. That's called the artificial or hypocritic. But when somebody is truly disciplined because their mind is with the renunciation, and or they have a sincerely trust and believe in Dharma, then those two are, I think, different. So that way, but lots of time it's really difficult to tell who's actually hypocrite and who's a really noble person. Generally in the Vinaya said, especially when you come to around the lay people, you have to be more careful. So because lay people easily lose the faith to the Dharma if Dharma practitioner misbehave. But so that is different than just try to be please all the donor people donor and try to pretend something else that what you are not, and those are different. So that way, being careful the front of the critical person, critical mean the unstable or kind of like easy to can be lose the faith, being careful around that one, or pretending something who you are not. I think those are a little bit different. Now, next one is that it's possible to mistaking the distracted by the Mara for the someone who delusion has been destroyed. So this is distracted by the Mara mean the some kind of supernatural power gain, like clairvoyant, or sometimes you get some kind of special power that whatever you do, it become always that one. Some people are really helpful from the dream mantra, or that's from the the Vajrayana. There's a lot of people using kind of a magic. Okay, that is this. I'm not saying this always be distracted from the Mara, but a lot of time have similar like that Mara. And someone who has a delusion has been destroyed, mean that have a realization of a completely true nature, of realization of true nature. So that way they are free from the delusion. Those two are different, but similarly comes. So there are, some people completely have this delusion is gone. So then they have a clairvoyant. From that clairvoyant can tell what's going to happen, can see what happened, where happened, and things like that. That is a truly wisdom. But sometimes some practitioners get the Mara's obstacles, and the Mara can give you that kind of power temporarily. And also sometimes the Mara come for the form of your deity or your guru. So there one storytelling. there's one practitioner in the retreat, and he practicing the Avalokiteshvara. So when he was practicing Avalokiteshvara, one day he saw Avalokiteshvara face to face. Then Avalokiteshvara said, oh, now you go to such and such place. There's one, this lady name is this one, and in this place, and you have to take consult her. Then he did. He went that place and he saw the lady, exactly their name and everything. And he married. After that, they have children, and it's become so much a problem he's practiced. Then later, finally realized that was obstacle, not the deity's, realization. You not accomplish anything from the deity. The Mara obstruct you. So if you accomplishing, you meet the face-to-face deity, that is real deity. But when Mara obstructed, you may meet the face-to-face, look like your deity, but that is the Mara form as a deity. So there's some story. One person have a really devotion to the one guru. One day Mara come form of that guru and give some kind of information. You do such and such. So this kind of a Mara's destruction comes lots of time. What I heard is in the Vajrayana, when you receive in the high yoga tantric empowerment, you will receive called the secret name. So those secret name is basically known by you, guru, and that deity. No one else know that. So if your guru, the deity comes to you and give you some kind of CD or accomplishment or some kind of you think that you have accomplishing, you can ask that deity, if you are my deity, what is my secret name? Then if that deity cannot tell you that your secret name, that means this is the Mara form of your deity to obstruct your practice continually. So I heard this one is also in Tibet, one monk, and he was really good with the performing ritual for the lay people. You're doing like different things like a definition, and you're doing like puja and things like that. And he becomes so famous. And at a certain point, he can tell why this happened to these people when they get sick. He can tell what is caused to them. It come to him some kind of clairvoyant. So one day he went to see his guru, and he told his guru all those, and his guru said, first, all the wealth you accumulate until now, completely give way to the monastery, give way to the poor people, give way to anyone, just completely give way. When he give away all of those, because of that merit, and he free from obstacles, and his clairvoyant is gone. So then later his guru said that was the obstructed by the Mara. So I think this Mara's obstructions, lots of, especially Dharma practitioner in lots of time, it's possible to come to you so many different ways. This is, I think we have to know is Mara never comes scary way. Lots of people think Mara means the scary one. Also, lots of people think when you get sickness, when you get a problem in your life, you think that is an obstacle for the Dharma. That is not an obstacle for the Dharma. Most of Mara's obstacle to the Dharma is some kind of accomplishment. Similar way to accomplishing. So certain realization, certain accomplishment. That way to come. So Mara not going to come to you scary way, because if that Mara come to you scary way, it cannot distract your practice. Only disturb your emotion a little bit, but not distract your practice. But if a Mara come to the form of accomplishment to you, then it completely can destroy your practice of continuism. So that reason, these two are really similar. Then number 8, it's possible to mistake charlatan for the Siddha. Charlatan, its correct pronunciation is charlatan. CHARLATAN. I think this is a kind of fraud. This is like without the realization of the mass CD, without the realization of the higher, realization of a Mahamudra and portending something, for the fame and wealth and that kind of is a really, basically, I think this is another way. It's a really similar, crazy one and a Masida one. Both are unpredictable. Both are, out of our understand. But one is become because completely free from the delusion. One is completely deluding to us by his act. So one is a realization, one is acting like a Mahasiddha. So who making deluding to us, that is called what called the charlatan, and who freeing our delusion by his act or her act is called the Siddha. So I think those two, basically Buddha himself said, you cannot tell who is who unless you become like me. That means the Buddha. So we're not judging to this is a really truly Mahasiddha, this is a charlatan or a fraud. But those two are really come similarly. So you have to be make sure not mistaking from the charlatan to Mahasiddha. So I think, as I said, for our point, it's not easy to distinguishing those two. But we can tell if somebody is have a lots of concern about the eight worldly, then that is not really Mahasiddha. Somebody is free from eight worldly concern. It's called the Jidin Chögye Gonyom in Tibetan. It means that you have an equal of the eight worldly concern, that you don't have any kind of a feeling of a joy when somebody praise you and feeling of a upset when somebody criticize you. You don't have that kind of, then if you're equalizing that kind of a situation, then it's called the free from eight worldly concern. Then it's the more likably, that is the Siddha. And still you have a concern about the eight worldly dharma, then it's pretty much that one is a charlatan or fraud.
Right.
Okay, now it's the number 9. Is it possible to mistake self-serving activity for the altruism? So as you doing others a favorite or your own favorite is really difficult. This is another example is a Dharma teacher who go around in the world, it's called the Dharma tour. Yeah. So Dharma tour is actually for what main point reason we're going. We don't know actually sometimes, self-centered or actually you want to help. Sometimes, when you get a lots of gathering and you have collect a lots of good donation and said successful tour. So if that is a success as you become that way to success is a tool, then that's called a self-serving. Yeah. If your tool is the main aim is a goal or go to round, the main goal is collecting the donation and collect how much is gather and come big, and that is try to make the famous way to, then that is become a self-serving. But if you really sincerely care for other, then you go then to share your dharma. So as earlier I mentioned, Buddha also said to the bodhisattva, ordinary beginner like us, it's better to hide from the public, is a better benefit. Because when you go to the public, try to benefit sentient being directly, physically, then you must need assurance. I think it's called assurance of ASSU RANCE. CE, assurance of emptiness and compassion. If you don't have an assurance of emptiness and compassion, and it's dangerous to become self-serving, to go to round. So that way, so Bodhisattva, they have a contact, what is the ordinary Bodhisattva should do? What is the Bodhisattva who have a realization should do? So it's same thing as a Vajrayana too, So this is called the Vajrayanas, the practitioners contact. Lots of beginners have to be isolated themselves, have to hide everything, including their practice. Make sure nobody know who you are and nobody know what are you doing. That way it's called a sacred mantra, So then until you reach to the certain level, it's called the yoga, called the Mahasiddha. So once you reach to the Mahasiddha, and at that time you have equality, equanimity, equality of or it's called the non-duality, wisdom. Then you can perform to the others' benefit. Whatever you perform, always be others' benefit. Otherwise, when you don't have assurance of the emptiness and the compassion, try to perform whatever we perform. We are self-serving. So it's the name of the others' benefit. So that way, sometimes, I'm not sure. Also think of myself, what I'm doing. Sometimes I feel like, I don't think so I'm helping anyone, anything else except myself. So it's kind of sad or whatever, feeling disappointed myself or whatever. I mean, sometimes it comes. So I think this is true. Lots of time we put ourselves as a self, most important. So wherever gain the self benefit, that is the main aim. So, so that way, these two, serving to the self or serving for the other, altruism mean the others' benefit. Looks really similar, but it's difficult to tell. Okay, then last one. Is it possible to mistake in deceit for the skillful mean? So this is talking about the 9 one is to benefit the other sentient beings, altruistic, altruism. So 9 one is altruism mean the benefit others benefit. So when you benefit other, Bodhisattva sometimes for the others' benefit actually allow to have a certain degree of a negative, like they allow to even the lying, allow to steal. Lots of negative is allowed to for the others' benefit. Bodhisattva sometimes should do that one, but if we think that as a skillful means and using our own benefit, then that does become a mistake. So the reason these two are really similar. Okay, so here's some question. One person asking 3, 4, and 5 is a really heavy topic. So can recommend the further text. Those are, I think you can study like a Nagarjuna's middle way, Chandragiti's middle way, Shantideva's chapter 10, chapter 9 of the way of Bodhisattva conduct, and also Asanga's, 5 dharma of the Mitriyas, like discriminating the center and border, or I think it's called the Uttanache, and also discriminating of the Dhammadhatu. Those texts as explained really beautifully, and also you can study in the Mahamudra teachings. So I think from those texts you can find. Then here's somebody said, did you say both Charlatan and Siddha are unprotectable? I didn't say unprotectable. I said those are really similar. But a person who really achieved the Siddha and Charlatan, for them is not protectable. For us, it's difficult to tell who is truly Siddha, and who, I mean, is it truly Siddha or is it charlatan? So those two are really similarly comes. So that way, so point is actually this is when you're practicing, whatever have some kind of some degree of realization or experience, don't be too attached on them. Don't be too overwhelmed with that. Just don't take, as that is something, but I'm sure there's a better than that one or something like that. I actually don't overwhelm with that kind of experience. I think this is a better way to say. Okay, so these are the 10 things to be easily mistaken. Can we go a little bit further? Here are 10 things that is unmistaken. First one is I think I'm not going to say that much. It's unmistaken to become the part of the monastery with the renunciation and without any attachment whatsoever. I mean, this is it. It's not only talking about the just becoming a monk or nun. Okay, reason of why we want to become a monk and nun should be main reason is the renunciation. If you have a truly renunciation, if you on a pure renunciation, what have to do is you have to detach all the wealth, name, possession, family, everything. Where you have to cut the attachment. But these days it's really difficult. It's so I'm not sure that kind of exists or not. It's really difficult to say. But so it's the main this say is what this one say is if you stay home, with as a lay with a responsibility, your time of a practice is much less than you join to the monastery. Because when you join to the monastery and your practice time or study time or whatever dharma activity time is full time. If you stay in the home and your time have to be shared with the family, with the job, with the practice, with everything. So that way, you're really time consuming. So that is what does it mean. I'm not saying who stay in these days, who stay in the home is not good as a practitioner as who stay in the monastery. I'm not saying that way. I don't think so. I met lots of people who are lay practitioner and stay home, but they are great practitioner. And also some monks and nuns, not that much renunciation from the wealth, fame, and those attachment. So that way, I'm not sure which one is better actually. So, but this one is talking about when joined to the monastery, it means the ordained with the motivated by the renunciation. So how you get motivated by the renunciation is without any kind of attachment whatsoever. Then that person's practice is becoming pure Dharma practice. Okay, then second one says, it is unmistaken to respect authentic guru, what called? This, I don't know English. And Golotation, guru, while elevating.
Elevating's a word.
Okay, to him, crown on your head. So this is showing us, why is a crown of your head? As a guru's putting, I think this is have to do is ancient time. If you have some kind of really precious jewel, you put on your crown ornament. Yeah, that precious jewel. So you have to take as a preciousness of the authentic guru. You have to show the respect. You have to show the devotion. So that is a mistaking, because when you rely on the guru, the lots of Tibetans said, don't become too close with the guru, because when you become too close, it's become a personal friendship. Then you not take seriously, you know. So, but too distance, because if you take too distance, then you don't have a connection with the guru. You must connect to the guru without get involved into the becoming too close. So then you have to show that guru with the respect. So like you see, lots of deity, they are called the Lord of the family. It means the Lord of the family means the teacher. Like Avalokiteshvara's statue, lots of Avalokiteshvara's statue, you see the Amitabha on the crown. You know, always have that one. So why? Because that is showing us showing us a respect, showing us a caring, the kindness, of the remembering the kindness of the gurus. Always see this one. So you have to, when you meet with the authentic guru, qualified guru, you know, someone is helpful for you, then you have to use this as a show as a respect and cherish that guru, because it's more than like a precious jewel. Guru is more than precious jewel. So that way it's just like you have to carry on the like a lord of the family, all the deity on their crown. It's like crown ornament. So in the ornament of the Mahayana Sutra said spiritual master, so also a spiritual guru have to be three kind of pleasings, or three kind of three way to satisfaction to the guru. How do you can satisfy the guru is a lesser satisfaction as an offering material, mediocre satisfaction as a service, but a supreme satisfaction to the guru is the practicing the dharma, whatever you learn. So then so this way we have to be what called I think elevating him. That is how elevate. That is how show respect. That is how show appreciation to the guru. Just do practice whatever you learn with the gratitude to sincerely. I think that is what is here mainly talking about. Then next one is a praise. Is a I try to look on the Tuma in the Tibetan. I think Tuma is a here. Okay, at first I read the text. It's unmistaken to train yourself in the threefold combination of the hearing, contemplation, and the meditation. I think this is like kind of like a sharing the time, threefold combination means that kind of sharing. Tibetan is called the Tuma, like a day and night. We call that Nyensen Tuchi. It means that like kind of both kind of similar, like 24 hours as 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night. So kind of sharing. So this is those threefold have the combination as a kind of like a sharing things. So what sharing here is a hearing, contemplate, and meditation. Those I have to be sharing. Some people more focus on the hearing, that don't do contemplate or the meditation. Some people try to do too much meditation, but they don't want to hearing or contemplate. So that is a mistaking. So this is mean they say you have to be combination of all three, kind of like a sharing time, combination of sharing time to the must do all those three three dharma activity of those three is kind of like a equally, some part of the time is should be hearing, then contemplate, and then meditation. Don't skip one or another, or what don't do one like hearing or contemplate on them, and don't neglect about other one like meditation. So that's also mistaken. So as is a unmistaken is a they doing like a without the losing one of those three. I think that's what it mean here is kind of threefold combination. There's one Tibetan translator called the Panglozawa. One time around him, lots of people discussing in the Tibet now who is the expert for the Junjuk, where Bodhisattva contact. And he said, actually in Tibet, Gozhamba Gombo Dorji is a one Drupagoji master, and Guru Thome is another one. Those two are the expert of the where Bodhisattva contact. Because why they call the expert of the where Bodhisattva contact, not because they are scholar, but they really carry on all the meaning of the teaching, what taught in the where Bodhisattva contact is with their life, with their livelihood, with their daily activity, with the follow on that. So that reason is on. When I was studying under my one guru in the Samya monastery, he always said, truly, when he was teaching in the Junju, truly that this practitioner there's one monk, senior monk, but he is like a, so humble and take care anyone without the discrimination. Doesn't matter who comes, guests to the visit the monastery, rich, poor, anyone, he take care everyone equally. And our teacher always said, he truly practitioner of the Junju. So this is what does it mean that I say some people have a great knowledge, but they never do anything what they know. And some people doing lots of things, but they don't know what they're doing. So you need to know the meaning of the practice and the word of the practice, need to be a little bit knowledge. But same time, you have to do that one. And that is have to be combination. Not one is a export, but another one is not really good, like a hearing or contemplation and meditation.
So one is Kanse Tokme and the other one is what the name, I cannot get it.
His name is Guru Thome. One is called Gozhamba.
Gozhamba.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not Munju Thome, it's called the Guru Thome.
Guru Thome.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I think you getting too late for you, Mr. and all the Vietnamese. So thank you so much, everyone. And we stop here. Chanchu sem joy Rinpoche manje banai ke joy ke bai nyam bai mem bai kone kondo pe war sho tata konde tam je